Welcome to the Revo Report. We're inspiring faith with reason and reason with faith.
Start with Musa alayhi salam, and he brought the Torah, I brought the Quran, and the Quran confirmed the Torah. Bingo. That's his claim. I put my claim. I'm just using his claim to validate, is it true or not? And of course, the Quran, the Bible, and the Torah they're not compatible at all. And it's shocking to many Muslims. And I said, well, you have to know that. You think it is, but it's not. And then they said, oh, your Torah been corrupted. I asked them, 2 words, prove it. Can you find a Torah which is compatible with your Quran and incompatible with our Torah?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely there is 1 in a billion. They never find it. And argument stands. There is no comparative.
Man, that is wild. My goodness. You know, one of the things that I noticed in the comments, one of the things that really stood out with my interview with Greg that people were talking about, there's this one guy, I have it here and we'll talk about it later, but there's this one guy that said, oh, Greg seems intelligent and I could have a conversation with him, but I would never engage in, some of these other guys who are really very aggressive and insulting and, will do extreme things to get attention, right? So do you find that with this methodology, you can really engage them at a level where you don't have to, you just have an intellectual conversation with them and like piece by piece?
What happened is I really like them. I wish well for them. I don't want to go how dare you believe in that, right? So basically, I want to give them opportunity to see the reality.
Yeah.
And for me, it's people with a blindfolded. Can you see the person driving car blindfolded?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, take the blindfold out. So you have to see the road in front of you. And that's what I see Muslims, and I want them to be open-eyed. So that's my main goal. And I don't see myself I want to convert them or whatever, right? Allah is this. So I feel they've been betrayed. They've been lied to by some people, and they deserve to know the truth. And then even after they still choose to be in Islam, I don't mind. At least my part is done. I'm not God, right? Definitely. So how can I convince somebody? I cannot convince anybody. And my goal is just to share information. As 40 years ago, information, thanks to Gorbachev and Perestroika, information was shared with me. And I look at it and I make a decision based on comparison or what history said about communists and Bolshevik and about what reality and what we've been, what we've been brainwashed. So something like that, when they see the Muslims, they don't know the truth. They don't know the foundational stuff. And unfortunately, you can find a lot online with Muslim Christian debates and dialogues and even debates, and they're not talking about that issue.
Yeah.
I think it's fundamental.
I think so too. Yeah. Wow. And so what's next for you, Alex?
Thanks for Greg coming along. It's really helped me. It's really boosted to go to the next level. I can do it myself. Whatever I did, it was great. It came up with his own meticulous style of searching and finding stuff. So now we're doing a lot of stuff, and he's doing most of the stuff of comparing stories in more details. Whatever I did the Quran Bible comparison, I have 222 differences in the entire Bible versus Quran. He can find 941 differences
in one story, right?
Raise the stuff, right? So amazing. So we're going to do that because it's research. It takes a lot of time. We try to popularize it on the internet. Try to, of course, among Christians, because a lot of those Christians who are engaged with Muslims, they cannot stay long in ministry because they feel burned out.
Yeah.
No success, difficult conversations, as I did before 2011. I was not satisfied at all. So you don't you don't feel good to meet Muslims because you get under the heat of that. They have tons of questions. No matter how good you answer, it's not satisfied for them, right?
Yeah.
So you don't feel like you explain something which makes sense to them finally. So that's why I want to train Christians. You don't need to be scared. You don't need to be afraid. And you can love them easily. You can feel for them. Let me tell you something. I don't need to push you. I don't have to force you. It's very formal, informal, I should say.
Right.
It's very nice conversation. You do that. And everybody appreciate everyone.
Right.
They shake my hand at the end. Sometimes give me a hug, thumbs up.
Wow.
So I saw them and I was shocked because, when I have a lot of seminars in the churches years back, 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I asked Christians to guess what their reaction after I exposed the Quran. Most of them are negative. I said, no, it's positive.
Wow.
This is bizarre.
Yeah.
So, I couldn't believe it because probably I'm not coming as bad guy.
Right.
Like I don't blaspheme Muhammad,
Right.
Allah, the Quran. I
Yeah.
just expose using the Torah. That's all I do.
You're not offending them when it comes to the Quran. You're showing them really the truth, I think, right? And in showing them the truth in a way that's gentle, in a way that's respectful. I think there is this misconception right now that in order to engage them, in order for them to respond, you have to do it aggressively, you have to get angry at them, or you have to, these things. But you're showing an entirely different methodology where you're engaging them. And I like your point of view is coming from a compassion point of view.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That's it.
You have compassion towards them, not kind of hatred. You're the enemy. You are someone who is just misinformed, and let me help you. Right? And I think a lot of that has to do with maybe your background, right? Growing up communist, growing up with that ideology, and then realizing, hey, I was deceived. I believed this, but it wasn't the truth.
All I need to have access to the information. That's all. And I make my own decision.
Mm-hmm.
People were raised from my class, for example, of our university, who never became Christian. They have access to the same information I do.
Yeah.
But I saw it, okay, the Bible is true. For them, they did see. So again, we have a freedom to choose, but we need to have information, the truth before us to make a choice. But when I see the Muslim, they don't know the truth. I show them truth and let them make decision on their own without even my presence. That's what I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they appreciate that because I never push.
There's no
Even
pressure.
God forbid manipulation.
Right.
And I'm trying to train Christians as well with the Greg as well. You don't manipulate people. Even if you see the vulnerable, you can gently ask them if you want to accept Christ or not. Ready? Let them go. And direct contact. If they're not in contact, fine.
That's amazing. Wow. Well, I think we could go on a long time, but I know we're on a time limit and we're going to have Greg on here as well. So thank you so much, Alex. I hope that this could turn into a series. Every once in a while, we'll meet up again and see what the update, maybe even go out there in the field, record some of these things with some really good audio, some really good video. And so people can see what this interaction looks like. I think that's one of the things also when people were commenting about Greg, they were wondering, are people actually converted with this type of method? How do they respond with this type of method? People were really questioning that in the comments. They wanted to know. So I thought, wow, wouldn't it be great if we could be out there in the field so people can see, hey, this is it. And then like you said, we don't have to be intimidated anymore. I think Christians are not engaging in Muslims because they're just not equipped. Like what Greg was saying earlier, the pastors are not equipped. So of course, the parishioners and the other Christians are not equipped. And I think that this methodology, just like what I was telling Greg, is quite revolutionary, right? It's something that Christendom has not seen before. And so what would you say then, as we close off, to those Christians that are intimidated, that wouldn't dare engage in a Muslim because they know that the Islamic apologetics would just crush a lot of things that normal Christians would know? How could you encourage them, or what do you have to say to them, how to get into it?
If you still want to go and you're afraid, try to learn methodology either from online courses we'll put in, or in person if you can. We have StreamYard meeting, whatever, right? So we can basically the idea is to equip as many Christians as we can because our limitations, physical limitation. Like I like to talk to 2 billion Muslims, 2-3 hours each, or maybe 4. Okay. That will be my goal, right? But it's impossible. So we need people somewhere talking to Muslims, not myself, but using exactly methodology which works and could produce a result at long term. Maybe even short term. So learn methodology, learn how to use it thoroughly. You don't need to rush it, but if you know it, you can apply it and you will see result from day one. You can see result from the first meeting, and it will give you such a boost to drive, and then you start engaging yourself and start recruiting other people around you.
Nice.
I start looking for Muslims to talk to them.
Most of the time you're avoiding them.
But I can't. I'm standing on the street. Like, how can I avoid them? They come to me. Oh, I get it. Now it's like, yes, this is That's completely different, right?
Incredible.